Hey there guys, and welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon FireRed. I'm your host Flux, and I've got some splaining to do. But first, a little recap. In the last episode, we arrived in Pewter City, beat the first gym leader, obtained the Boulder Badge, and we are continuing on our way to the east. But as we leave town, we will be stopped by this guy, who claims to be Professor Oak's aide. He's been asked to deliver this. And we obtain, finally, the running shoes. In all of their Pokemon games, you either start with it or get it very, very soon. But in FireRed and Leaf Green, they decided to give them to you right now. But there's a nice little letter attached. Let's read it. Dear Yois, here's a pair of running shoes for my beloved challenger. Remember, I'll always cheer for you. Don't ever give up. From Mom. Good old Mom. At least she actually does something, instead of just standing there and letting her child run off into the wilderness. But yeah, so here we arrive on Route 3. The wild Pokemon you can get here are somewhat new, somewhat old. I will explain those a little more in depth as we get to the area of Route 3 where you can obtain these wild Pokemon. Until then, you're gonna have to fight a bunch of wild trainers. Wild trainers, that's funny. A bunch of trainers. You'll face a bunch of trainers. And normally I would use this time to just speed up and play music like I did through Viridian Forest in the last episode. However, as I mentioned before, I've got some splaining to do. So I think I'm going to get that stuff off my chest first. And if there's any more trainers left, which I'm sure there will be, then I will speed up and play music. So, if any of you have been paying any attention whatsoever, you'll notice that I haven't uploaded in a very long time, and I do apologize for that, I really do. If you followed my channel, you should have noticed me posting some various statuses every now and then. Basically, for those of you who don't know, around, I think it was October. Yeah, October sounds about right. My computer crashed, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. And by crashed, I don't mean it just went to poop. I mean, it went kablooey. Basically, I lost all my data. I went into Geek Squad. Took them 3.5 weeks to fix it. All they did was put in a new hard drive. So, needless to say, I lost everything. And it wouldn't be that bad. I mean, I could, in theory, just re-download all the ROMs, as in Pokemon FireRed, like I have right now, and just get back to recording. Well, it wasn't that simple, because as I've mentioned before, I go to NC State University, and I use their internet. The problem with that is, even though downloading emulators isn't illegal if you own the game, the problem is NC State doesn't know that, and so if they had caught me downloading emulators, I could have gotten into big trouble, even though technically there's nothing wrong with it. So instead of having to deal with all that, I decided that I would just go home for Thanksgiving break and re-download everything then and get back to recording. And that's what I did. But as fate would have it, my computer crashed again. So apparently there's something else wrong with my computer that simply replacing the hard drive didn't fix. So I managed to get that fixed once again. It is now currently over Christmas break. It is December 28th to be exact. I finally got my computer back in tip-top shape. I've got everything re-downloaded, obviously, since I'm playing. I replayed my files, both this one and my Kirby Let's Play, up to the point where I stopped uploading to YouTube so that I would be ready to re-record. And so now I'm using all the remaining time that I have on my break to stockpile footage, because there's one more problem. As I just mentioned, I'm recording this as of December 28th. However, the upload date of this is, wow, that was a nasty crit. I'm sorry, Zerath. Anyways, back to what I was saying. You'll notice that the upload date of this video is more than likely early January. And that's because I am still at home, and my home internet is good enough to download something. However, it is not good enough to upload something to YouTube specifically. In other words, I may be recording and editing and doing everything I can to make these videos and put them together, but I can't currently upload them. So I will be doing that is one lucky Ekans, dodging Leech Seed twice in a row with 90 accuracy. Anyways, once again, back to what I was saying. I will be uploading these videos once I get back to state in early January. So you can be expecting more videos around that time. My new schedule at state looks pretty intense, so I'm not sure when or how I will be uploading, as in on a regular basis. I'm not sure how I will be doing that. I do promise to work out things as best as I can, and I will try and get a upload schedule. But until I get a feel for how the semester's going, I'm not sure how many videos that will look like. So that's one reason for me stockpiling footage right now. I'm trying to record as much as I can in as little time as I can for you guys to make up for all the lost time, and hopefully there won't be any more issues. Again, I can't promise anything. As far as I know, my computer is fine now, but I'm not sure how long that will last. So yeah, I guess if there's any more questions, you guys can leave in comments or message me or something. Again, I do apologize for the lack of videos and just all this mess. I haven't had any control over it, and I've been doing the best that I can with it. God's been with me through it, trying to keep me from getting upset and all that. And believe it, kid. Yeah, so I rambled on long enough, I'd say. I'm gonna cut the video here so that I can finish healing up my Pokemon. And yeah. Alright guys, I'm back, and as I mentioned, I'm pretty much done with my rambling, so without further ado, the rest of these trainers will be sped up and put to music. So, cue the music. Alright folks, that'll do it for the trainers on this route. So, oh my goodness, what is this? Yep guys, here we go. First evolution of the Let's Play. Our good old Maokai, who's been with us from the very start, has already reached his second out of 30 forms. Yep, Maokai's evolved into Ivysaur, so now he's going to level up a little bit slower, but his power has increased. So, I suppose it's time for me to start going into the wild Pokemon you can get in this route. We will start with a Spearow. Makes sense that would be the first one I'd find. There's a 35% chance of you encountering one in this game. On this route. Right here, right now. And it's dead. Second up, you can once again find good old Pidgeys. Slightly less common than the Spearows at 30%. But between the Spearows and Pidgeys, that's more than likely what you're going to find here. Next up, we have Mankey at 10%. Alright, that does it for the 3 Pokemon that you can find on this route that we've already seen. There are actually 2 new Pokemon that you can encounter here. Well, 3 technically, but I'll get into those 2 differences when we come across them. Here we go guys, the Nidoran. There are 2 different Nidoran for those of you who have not played this game before. There's a male and a female version. If you're playing FireRed, there's a 14% chance of finding Nidoran males here, with a 1% chance of finding the females. And if you're playing Leaf Green, the odds are flipped. For Leaf Green is a 14% chance of finding Nidoran females and a 1% chance of locating the males. Yeah, so it's a good area to go ahead and pick up an interesting poison type this early on in the game if you don't already have one. For the rare species of your game, so for example, since I'm playing FireRed, more than likely I want to get a Nidoran female by another method, which I'll go into a little bit later on in the game when we come across it. And last but not least, we have the ever-elusive Jigglypuff. Yeah, this Pokemon's not really any good as far as battle goes, but it's rare Pokemon. For those of you who want to complete your Pokedex, this is the only location in the entire game where you can obtain them, outside of breeding, but you can get any Pokemon by doing that. I really hope I can catch this. If not really a big deal. I'll come back for it later. Oh well. You've seen it. That does it for all the wild Pokemon you can encounter here on Route 3. Alright guys, well unfortunately I spent way too much time rambling as we are nearing the YouTube time limit. So thank you all so much for watching. I'll try and make the next episode less jumpy. I realize there's been speed ups and a lot of cutting, especially with the wild Pokemon you can find here. So we'll finish up Route 3 in the next episode, and you all have a blessed day. See ya!